the economic situation and the need to really venture into agriculture, if you have the opportunity of being the governor of those states, would you be encouraging local governments to have farms? Would you be encouraging, for instance, the Ministry of Agriculture to have demonstration farms? What will be your disposition to agricultural development beyond the books?
Thank you. I'm a farmer. I'm the son of a farmer. Iṣẹ́ mi ni òwò mi ni, ìdí iṣẹ́ ni láti mọ ni lọ́lẹ̀. Iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ ni iṣẹ́ ilé wa, ẹni tí ò ṣiṣẹ́ àjàlẹ̀. Look, let me just give you simple explanation. There are 18 local governments. Hardly can you find any local government in Ondo State today that does not have at least 5,000 hectares of cultivable land. We get into office day one. We get heavy equipment like dozers in. We get tractors. We get plows. We get ridgers. We get planters. We get sowers. And those are the kind of things you'll be hearing. Even in the structure of government, now they were hearing SA special duty. What duties? You will be hearing SA Ogede. SA issue. The SA issue is mandated. Look, we are 6 million people in Ondo State. And we want to produce 10 tubers of yam per head within the year. That means we are going for 60 million tubers of yam. We can calculate the hectareage that will produce that. We do the bulldozing. We do the tractorization, plowing. We put big ridges that can make heap, the ridges, and then we have seedlings planted. And before you know it, within the year, 6 months, 9 months later, we will give you 60 million tubers of yam for Ondo State. This is what I do, so I know what I'm talking about. It is doable, it's easy, and those farms, by the way, will generate thousands, if not millions of jobs for us. When you go to the processing level, now the yam is ready. We can't finish 60 million tubers of yam. What do we do with the rest? Then you have SMEs doing yam powder, doing a lubo issue, and doing a lot of things. What then do we do with the leaves? We have our ranches, the animals are feeding, integrated system. Our economy is going to be circular. We're going to produce on those states, we're going to purchase on those states, and we're going to sell on those states. We're going to be the richest state in the country within 4 years when we get to office. This is practical. We've worked the numbers and they add up.
Well, interesting proposition, but then I still have to ask you, these things you're talking about, they must definitely be capital intensive. So how do you intend, apart from all of these will not be depending on federal allocation and all of that, would that not also be sounding like you'll be putting the burden of taxation on already the people that they feel they've been paying a whole lot to government and they expect more value from government at all levels?
Thank you, SK. The same idea we're talking about. Why do we think we have to tax our people to death? Look, what is government doing for the people?
Where do you want to get the money
from? Look, for example, let me give you an example. We are 220 million people in Nigeria, mostly hungry people that need food. I can point to you 1,000 investors internationally today who, if they find a purposeful government with the right intelligence quotient, with the right integrity quotient, that will bring money to do ranching, to do massive agriculture in Ondo. I have no doubt, I know them. Many of them are my personal friends. So we're not talking theory here. We're going to sell our integrity. We're going to sell the fact that we run the most transparent government Nigeria has ever seen. We're going to sell our purposefulness. We have a relatively young, vibrant, educated manpower. So there's no reason why we can't draw foreign direct investment, even local investors from within the country will prefer a destination where they can have a good return on their investment. That is the economy we're working towards in Ondo.
Okay, well, good proposition. Depending on what the outcome of the election would say. Let's talk education. A time there was in this state when an administration brought about the concept of mega schools, and eventually it was also said that it's mega school with no mega students there and all of that. At a point, another administration said we're employing teachers teachers have not been employed for so long and then employ teachers. A time there was in this state when it was also the turn of renovating schools. What new thing then would you be saying you're bringing to the education sector if you're elected governor?
Number one, we first must understand that a state or a society cannot grow beyond the level of their education. Education will be our number one priority because the manpower development of any society is what drives everything else. Look, Japan doesn't have mineral resources. They are one of the largest economies in the world. We have so many natural resources. We are one of the poorest countries in the world. So, education. We spare nothing to make our teachers happy. We spare nothing to make the learning environment conducive for our children. When we were doing mega schools a few years ago, some people said, people who can't think beyond their noses, they say, how can you build this kind of schools and call it primary schools? They have no idea that the environment where a child learns affects their self-esteem. They have no idea that when you have a proper beginning, whatever you build on it is epigenetic, is going to flourish. So we are going to make sure primary education is not only free but compulsory and of
Looking
quality.
back, would you say mega school was a success?
Mega school when Iroko was governor was super success. How do you measure that? Children of the wealthy were withdrawing their children from private schools and pleading to bring them to public school in the mega schools. They had good instructions, they had extracurricular activities, they had a lot going for them. All we needed to have done was to make sure that every school in the state became a mini or a macro mega school. And then you then go to the next level.
But that was not done.
Well, because administrations changed. People's priorities changed. We went from those who say education must be affordable and accessible for all children to those who say, well, only the wealthy deserve good education because they can send their children to private schools. That's why they thought the school bus was superfluous. It was frivolous. But we are not just going to strengthen those kind of institutions, we're going to build upon them.
We were talking about certain things you said you intend to do, drilling balls and all of that, and I was hinting at the issue of autonomy for the local government, independence for the local government to be able to operate in its, on its terms and really effect good governance at the grassroots. If you have the opportunity of becoming governor from those states, are you not sounding like one who would take over the issue of building markets, for instance, motor parks, control and all of that? Do you feel that you will be able to grant the necessary autonomy and independence for the local government, despite that there is already a Supreme Court judgment in that regard? You know, politicians always have their way. Do you think you are someone that will have that moral standard to really let the local government function well?
When we talk about local government autonomy, I think we must put it in perspective. As a governor, I will make sure the local government gets what is due to them, although it's going to be coming from federal allocation directly now, which makes it okay, makes it good. But I'm not going to sit as a governor and let local governments misappropriate what comes to them, because the people are my constituency. The people of the local government are my constituency. So there will be cooperation. For example, we want to do 1,000 boreholes in Akure South local government, for instance. And Akure South local government wants to do 1,000 boreholes. What we just do is complement with the remaining 200 and make the remaining money available to them to do other things that are of essential, that are of need to the people. For example, what's the next stage regarding borehole? Maybe we reticulate for them with the same money so that the water doesn't just get out of the ground, it gets to the homes. There are ways of synergizing. What I will not tolerate as governor is a local government administration that thinks it is free time to loot the people's money. But the local government administrations that are purposeful, dutiful, we will work in sync
How do you intend to do that? For instance, if the government election is conducted and then you are on the platform of the Zenith Labour Party, and perhaps some of the chairmen are from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, the All Progressives Congress, APC, the People's Generation Party, PRP, and so on and so forth. How?
We are going to demonstrate what we call political maturity in Ondo State, that I will govern by the grace of God Almighty. It wouldn't matter whether a chairman is PDP, SDP, APC, ZLP. What we want to know, what do you have in terms of developmental agenda for your local government? This is what we have for the state. We sync, we synchronize, we synergize. So it doesn't really matter which party it is. When our people go to the market and they are selling tomato, 5 tomato for 500 naira to them, nobody is asking, are you PDP, APC? When people are hungry, hunger doesn't know which party you comes out of. So it does not matter. We're going to work in synergy, irrespective of which party controls the local government. Our people are not asking for too much. They're just asking to be able to have good food, good water, good jobs, good education, good houses. They're just asking for good maternal health care. They're asking for basic security so that they can carry on with their lives. And government has become an obstruction to that. How do you explain that farmers have their cocoa plantation being rooted in order to make way for Chinese people to come and dominate our lands? It's unconscionable. There's no explanation. Oh, you say it's reserved. So if it is reserved for Chinese people over Ondo State people? So we are very focused. Our people will be our priority.
All right. Many people have different opinions about your person, Alhaji Dr. Abbas Mimiko. One of such is about your religious inclination. In fact, some have also pointed at certain developments in the past. If you are elected as governor, how well would you be able to promote religious harmony, inclusiveness, and tolerance?
Thank you, SK. This question comes up often and often. I'm a Muslim, and a proud one at that. And I'm a Muslim that understands that God created every human being equal. That God created the male and the female to complement each other. That there are religious people out there from across the divides, Christians and other religious denominations. Most of my friends are Christians. The schools I attended were Christian schools. In my family, there are Christians, there are Muslims. You've never heard that, oh, they were quarreling because of religion. I understand that. And it's going to be everybody being given the freedom to express their religious beliefs in the state I will rule. Look, Ondo State is Christian majority state. There are more pastors campaigning for me than imams because they know that I am not biased on religious grounds. They know that I will not discriminate between a Christian and a Muslim, that everybody will get their fair due. We're going to get pastors into government. Isn't it the Bible that says when the righteous rule, the people rejoice? We're going to get as many good people. We're not going to leave our state to people who have no commitment to God or to man to come and run things down. So they have told many of our pastors, get ready. In the areas of monitoring, in the areas of moral education, in the areas of handling very vital things, we are going to work together. So I'm a Muslim, but I'm very comfortable to say I'm a free citizen of Ondo State who loves the Christians and the Muslims equally. I will treat them as such.
Well, grassroots development is one of very many advantages of democracy, if you agree with me. And some proponents of development says the best of approaches to development is the bottom-top approach. I don't know what is your own opinion or disposition to grassroots development. If you are given the opportunity to govern Ondo State, would you be just giving additional projects to localities or hearing from them what exactly they want?
Thank you, my brother. You see, if we don't understand the fact that development is local, then we haven't gotten anything right. For example, I say I'm governor of Ondo State and I'm wearing Giorgio Armani suit. When there's a tailor in my backyard that can sew nice dresses or nice suits or attires for me. The concept of bottom-up development is what we actually need. I'll give you an example. You want to pave roads in the neighborhood, and I've said this. Why do you want to have a Julius Berger or an international consortium come do the street that I live on? There are bricklayers on that street. There are vibrant youths who are energetic, who have nothing to do on that street. I will do something like award the contract of the street to the children, to the youngsters of the street. It doesn't have to be asphalt road. It could be concrete roads.
Irrespective of quality of job?
The quality of job is in the monitoring, it's in the leadership, it's in ensuring that nobody from top to bottom steals a dime.
How do you monitor that if you are awarding contract to individuals or a group of individuals without being a consortium or company?
It's so easy. SK, this is your father's street. I'm not going to award my own father's street to you, for example. I'm going to award the road on your street, on your father's street to you, so that when you don't do it well, you know what happens to you. And they know your father's house, they know my father's house. But the point is, give them an expert who guides them. Let them do the bulldozing, the rolling, and all the underworld, all the bottom, the basic work. Give them cement, give them aggregates, give them sharp sand, give them stone dust, and let the bricklayer in the neighborhood lead them. They will pave their roads. We have governments in place now that believe that the people are useless for themselves. They can't do nothing for themselves. I'm of the opinion that unless we get our people from the doldrums of poverty and have them do things for themselves, we are not going to get out of this shameful place we found ourselves. So yes, I believe in bottom-up development. That's why when we do our SMEs, it's going to be done for individuals, not the state. So that if you are the pepper producer, tinned pepper producer, it's a citizen that will do it. It's not necessarily for the state. The state will back him or her up, but it's going to be his or her enterprise. When we do anything in the neighborhood, we're going to use people from that neighborhood. We're running a government of the Mekunu, by the Mekunu, for the Mekunu. That's our mantra.
So why the Mekunu that's going to run it if it's by the Mekunu?
I'm a Mekunu.
Oh, really?
The people that are going to vote for me are the Mekunus. The government they're going to run will be by the Mekunu. What that means is that if I come to the market, I'm not going to look for an SA market who is blowing big grammar because she has PhD marketing. I'm going to look for somebody in the market that the market women want. When I come to that market and he says, Your Excellency, welcome, we want to show you the market house. She go boy you money. It will loan so talk to me, because we make the mistake that our people are dumb. They're smarter than us. We just haven't given them the opportunity to rule themselves, to do things for themselves. That's my concept of these bottom-up approaches. The people will have the mandate to take their destinies in their hands. That's why our mantra is Jafuriye. Fight for your right. Seize your destiny in your hand and run with it. It's only when you have attained certain level of self-esteem, of accomplishment, of actualization, that you can help the next person. The US, they talk of an army of one. And you start to wonder, how can an army be an army of one? Isn't it a band of soldiers that become an army? But if each individual in that army is not doing his or her bit, you can't have an army. Ondo State is going to be Jafuri. I fight for my right, you fight for your right, so that when somebody approaches you on election day and says 20,000 to buy your vote, you know, we were registering for a vote the other time, and a leader of the leading party, APC.
You were registering for what?
When we were doing the registration, voters registration
voter card.
We discovered that Zenny Labour was driving out registration. Go and register, go and... APC wasn't doing anything. PDP wasn't. And we were asking, are they not interested? And one of their leaders said, to buy the job, 20,000. What are you? You see how...
Okay, then let's move on. Now, I'd like to know what's your connection with some companies, some factories, and so on and so forth. Because this is one issue that has really bedeviled development in many spheres. Not living on those states, alone, in fact, it's not acceptable in Ondo State. I give an instance of abandoned projects. You find that successive administrations having that problem. For instance, you're from Ondo West. On your way to Ondo, that there was a proposal that there will be an auto assemblage plant on your right, because you remember very well. Today, there's nothing of such. It's all you can find there are just bushes and nothing more. So, what would be your disposition to starting a project and finishing it, or ensuring that you're not biting much more than you can chew?
It's proper planning. Okay. You don't jump into anything without doing the proper assessment from A to Z. I'll give you an example. When I say I want to build 20,000 new houses in Ondo State for the citizens because we have critical shortage of houses. That is my goal, right? And it's going to be a mortgage, 20, 30-year mortgage. That's my goal, right? How do I find the cement? Well, we have deposits of limestone in Ondo State. So I already know that I'm going to get an investor to partner with us in mining and producing cement. Oh, what will be my gain? Oh, you are going to supply cement to build 3,000 houses. Any investor will jump on that. Oh, we have stone deposits. We want to do aggregates. Oh, you come and set up quarries. What is my gain? You're going to supply stone aggregates for 20,000 houses. They will jump on it. So once you are sure, what makes people abandon projects is that we have all these bogus government projects. Government property is nobody's property. Whatever industry we raise in Ondo State, the investor has his lion's share. The locality where that industry is will have their share. The local government where that is situated will have its share. Then the Ondo State proper will have their share. Nobody allows their own personal things to go to waste. If Oluwa Glass were to be owned by people of Ilaje, it will still be running. But when you say it's Ondo State property, everybody comes, free looting spree. That's what happens.
So because of our time, I know what will be the future or the fate rather of youth and women in your administration if you eventually have one. That's if the people of Ondo State decide
surely by the grace of God.
That's in the hands of the people. That's in the hands of the people that will be voting on election day. So if it does happen that they vote for you, what will be the fate of women, children, and the young ones, the youth?
Children 0 to 6 years, your government's children, free medical care. We're not going to negotiate that. Basic minimum, as a critical age in which their brains have to develop and their physical body has to develop. Number 2, for our women, free maternal care is going to be guaranteed. You're not going to die in front of mother and child because you can't have 300,000 naira to do cesarean section. It will be free, it will be of quality. Women are going to be given generous revolving loans so that they don't have to kumule lantern, they don't have to sogundogoji. Now many women drink sniper because they can't bear the burden of interest on the loans that they're borrowing. Our women are going to be treated as queens, so properly called. And we are going to ensure that our youth, that's the energy, the drive that we'll have. We will populate our government with young, vibrant people and women. At least the political offices will have up to 30% women. And not just tokenism, not just in the bottom rung, across board. So they will be properly represented. The economy will be developed. Students will have their bursaries. Sometimes they will have their tuitions dropped. Vocational training for our youths will just drive the economy through youth.
Well, Dr. Basimiko, before we leave the issue of women empowerment, a time was in this state that we had Bebiro at a point where that BA, at a point that was Fowoso, at another point be more. What new and different thing would you be bringing on board? And maybe you should take this way. We can try first lady or second lady or third lady. I don't know.
Thank you very much. It doesn't matter if you have first or 10th lady. The trajectory of development of a state has to be driven by the vision of the leader. Once you lay out your vision, say for example, we say we want to be the food basket of Nigeria or West Africa, for example. Everything funnels to that. So even if First Lady says, I want to do some pet project, it has to piggyback on that developmental agenda, because we're going to work in unison as a body. So, for example, we're doing agriculture on massive scale. Anything that has to do with NGOs, First Ladyhood, all of them. Maybe the First Lady is doing things to contribute to women in agriculture, like the First Lady of Nigeria is doing and doing very well now. Our sister, Her Excellency Remi Tinubu, she's doing a marvelous job regarding that. And she's really impacting women's life across the nation. So we will make sure that we work, we don't do dissonance, in those states that I will run. Everything will be in sync.
You're applauding what the First Lady of Nigeria is doing, and I'm wondering what exactly are the facts and figures that you have to say she's doing marvelously well in terms of agriculture, encouraging women in agriculture. That was also a picture that came out talking about vegetable gardening in the villa. So I want to know what exactly you've seen much more that makes you feel that it's worth applause.
First and foremost, leadership is about vision. It's about setting an agenda that people can latch onto. The fact that the First Lady, delectable, incredibly intelligent woman, says that I want to get women to be engaged in productive life through agriculture. That alone is applaudable. You may not be able to measure in terms of what is achieved in 1 year. The fact that she's changing mindsets, and the former senator, First Lady of the Federation, is promoting women in agriculture, is something to praise. The president, for example, people want him to change the country in 1 day. It's the governors that will do the needful. When Niger State wanted to be great in agriculture, didn't President Bola Ahmed Tinubu support them? Didn't he get them all the international connections? See what they're doing there. When Abia says, no, we have no boundary with the sea, but we want a seaport. These are visionary leaders. Now they're trying to develop a seaport in Abia. What are our own people here doing other than rooting farmers' cocoa and selling it off to Chinese people? What are they doing for our people? The governor says, I will feed my people 1.5 years into office. Gari, cassava is 6 months. Yam is 9 months. Or 6 months. Cocoyam is 6 months. Ewa is 3 months. Rice is 3 months. You use 1.5 years to prepare to feed us. What are you going to do?
Time is no longer on our side, but finally, if by any chance the people from those states vote for you and then you're governor of those states, how well would you focus on sports development?
Thank you very much. Our 7 Ks of prosperity. One of it is Karnilera, health, which is wealth. Part of that project is that sports development will take a pride of place, not just for the sake of physical fitness alone, not just as a way of life that a healthy mind in a healthy body, but also as business. Sports entertainment is big business all over the world. You can imagine if you produce an Mbappe in Ondo State. The family will be awashing billions of naira. The community will be glad they produce a son like that or a daughter like that. So we are going to spend heavily to develop sports in Ondo State. We're going to promote our sportsmen and women. We're going to market them internationally to bring our economy to a greater height.
Alhaji Dr. Abbas Mimiko is the governorship candidate of the Zenith Labour Party in the forthcoming governorship election in Ondo State, billed for November the 16th, and he's been telling us his plans and programs for the people if they vote for him in the forthcoming election. Like I did tell you, Osrc is the station of the people. We will run everything professionally and as it should be. That's why it's a level play field for every candidate, for every political party. And we've had the governorship candidates of the NNPP, now the ZLP, and we do assure you all parties will be well represented in our programming as we've always been doing. I thank you so much, Dr. Mimiko, for coming to the state. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Everyone, this is the size of State of the States today. It's been an engaging engagement, I must say, and of course, it returns next Thursday, God willing. I am Sandy Kondawale. Please enjoy the rest of the week.